Donald Trump went on Fox and Friends and weighed in on the Ferguson, Missouri situation. Watch his racism come oozing out of his pores.
It's very simple. This is a racial situation. It's not covered that way in the press. It's not even discussed in the press. They don't want to discuss it. They stay away from it.
I don't agree with you.
Whether people like it.
That's what we're talking about is the race thing. And
Well,
this is not just a shooting.
Well, I don't think. I think it's a very strong, and in fact, Chicago is another situation. I mean, it's a very racial situation out there. And if you look at what's going on here and Chicago and other places, and the press really seldom talks about it. And you looked at it over here. As soon as you mentioned his black son, the audience went wild in applause. And that's a very sad situation, and it's very sad for the country. And people understand it. In my opinion, the press does not really discuss it. They talk about riots, but they don't say what's at the core of the riot. And frankly, it's a very big problem in this country, and it's a problem that is not discussed, or certainly not discussed in any great detail, and it has to be.
So when I first saw the headline about this on Mediaite and I watched the clip, I thought for a second, because I'm naive, that, oh, so Donald Trump acknowledges that race is a factor in the shooting. Interesting. Let me see the clip. And I was expecting to hear something where I could come out here and actually give him credit. But no. By him saying it's a racial issue, he's not saying, fuck, man, there's a racism problem with the police, in a 70% African-American area, mostly white police coming in there and fucking acting like an invading army and treating black people's lives like they're irrelevant. That's not what he's talking about when he says there's a race issue. He's saying, well, there's a race issue with these riots and these looters. They're all black. In Chicago, we have a race issue. It's all black people doing violence. So the problem is that black people are just criminals by their nature. That's just what it is. The media doesn't talk about it. The media doesn't talk about it. And did you notice how Brian Kilmeade thought when Trump made the race point that, the media's not talking about race in this? Brian Kilmeade said, I disagree. Why did he say I disagree? Because he thought that Trump was going to make the point that, oh, yeah, this is a race issue. White cop killing a black kid, white cop's probably racist. So he was trying to say, no, I disagree. I disagree, Donald. This has nothing to do with race. Here at Fox News, we're supposed to say that whites can never be racist against blacks. But then the second Donald explained, no, when I say it's about race, what I mean is black people are violent and criminals. Then all of a sudden, the Fox News people didn't disagree. Shh. Now it's okay that it's about race. Now it's okay. Look, these are just bad people, man. And actually, more importantly, putting aside the morality of it, which is obvious that they're immoral and unethical and they're bad people, they're stupid. I've tried, believe me, man, I've been doing this show for a long time. I try to come up with ways to sugarcoat it and give people the pill where they can accept it, because you come about it through a roundabout way that, oh, yeah, that actually is kind of a fucked up point that he's making. I'm tired of playing games, man. I just got to tell it like it is on this guy. Look, are you really arguing, Donald Trump, that inherent in the melanin in the skin of black people, well, they're just inferior? I mean, it's part of their skin. I mean, their blackness leads to them committing crimes. Oh, is that so? Well, two could play at this game, tough guy. We have 32,000 gun deaths in the United States of America every single year on average. The overwhelming majority of them done by white people. Even more than that, the overwhelming majority of mass shooters are white people. So by your own dumbass fucking logic, well, maybe we should stereotype all white guys, and white men. They're the ones that have the problem. They're the ones who we should look after. Look, you want to go even deeper, son? I'll go deeper with you. How about the U.S.? We had 250 years of slavery. After that, we had segregation. We had Jim Crow. We did the Native American genocide. The history of the United States is a brutal fucking history, okay? So you want to play this game? Well, look, Americans, especially the Founding Fathers, they're just vicious, brutal assholes, man. It is what it is. I guess we should say, looking back in time, any name you read in any historical document, just assume that guy was a fucking dick. That guy was violent. That guy was a criminal. That guy was a thug. That's just the history of it. If you're part of that group, that's just how you are. This is the kind of gross thinking that idiots do. The broad, sweeping generalizations that you don't stop for a second to say, hold on. We're dealing with individuals here. Maybe each person carries their own traits, carries their own beliefs, carries their own moral code, and maybe we should evaluate on a case-by-case basis. No, a moron like Donald Trump goes, well, we have a race problem here. The race problem is the riots and the looters, and, they said the same thing during Hurricane Katrina. That shows you how insane these people are. They looked at a situation where the federal government failed these communities, okay? They didn't prepare in advance. New Orleans was wiped off the fucking map. You had cops blocking a bridge out of New Orleans, so people were stuck in New Orleans with nowhere to go, no electricity, no food, no water. Then a few people loot to stay alive, and what do they say? Oh, God, that's just how they are, criminals looting. Well, what the fuck do you want them to do? Their houses are underwater and you won't let them leave. They need to eat. What do you want them to do? But that's what these idiots do no matter what. Always blame the black people. Blame them. They're doing something bad. They're doing something bad. Instead of saying, wait a second, Donald. So you're so upset. There was 1%, if that, of the people peacefully protesting ended up rioting and looting. You're focusing on forgetting the 99%, focusing on the 1%. But what about the original crime that led to this? Somebody was shot. An unarmed 18-year-old kid was shot with his hands in the air, running away. The police officer chased him and shot him 6 times at least, including 2 in the head. What about the thugs and criminals of the police department? What about the fact that you're 29 times more likely to die from a police officer than a terrorist attack in the United States of America? We're scared of the wrong boogeyman. The police are the actual boogeyman. What about that? You got nothing to say about that, right? Because white cops can kill black kids as much as they want. Donald Trump will never say they're just all violent, they're just all criminals, they're just all thugs. No. Well, the only criminals and thugs can be black people. And he's always, there's a race problem, there's a this problem, there's a that problem. Donald Trump represents the know-nothing mindset of so many people across the country who think, ironically, that they tell it like it is. Right? Like, I'll tell them those black people, they're the thugs and the criminals, even though it was a black kid who got shot and killed unarmed running away with his hands up. But they're the thugs and criminals. No, you're not telling it like it is. You're not keeping it real. You're not the watchman of the media who knows better. You are the lowest common denominator in the United States of America. You represent the least educated, most pathetic wing, lucky kind of idiot in this life. Your father had $400 million, and now you boast about being rich when you went bankrupt 4 times. You're a joke of a human being, Donald Trump. Spare me. I've went bankrupt 0 times. I guess by one measure, I'm a better businessman than you are, huh? Give me a $400 million head start. I'll do pretty fucking good for myself, too. But no, you're just a braggart who goes around, makes terrible fucking arguments, and you expect everybody to worship at your altar. I don't. You're an idiot. You're a child. Go away. You know nothing about politics.